Hi guys, I just wanted to go over the factor tree and simplifying radicals really quickly just to do a better job of explaining what exactly we're doing here. So I've got the square root of 32. Again, the factor tree is what two numbers multiply to give you 32. I'm going to use 2 because I still think that's easier. And then I'm going to go to prime numbers. 2's prime, 16's not. So I'm going to use 2 again. And I'm going to use 2 again for 8, and then 2 again for 4, right? So this is factor down the prime numbers. So as I was trying to say, this would be, I could change the square root of the square root of 32 to the square root of 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. And when I get to the square root of this, I take every group of 2, right? 2 of the same number. That's the same. And I move it to the outside. So I would move this, there's a pair of numbers here. So I would move 1 to the outside. There's a pair of numbers here. So I would move that one to the outside. And what I have left is that. And 2 times 2 is 4 root 2. So this is the part where if you understand perfect squares, and I know there's a few of you that do, that your math is really strong, you can do it this other way. So that's what this video is going to be about. This is the way that most of you should be doing it, and this is what I want to see. If your math is strong, if I get here, remember our answer, by the way, that we got was 4 root 2. If I get here 2 and 16, and I know that 16 is a perfect square, what do I have? I have the square root of 2 times 16, right? 2 times 16, 2 times 16, square root of 32 is the same as the square root of 2 times 16. What is the square root of 16? This is a perfect square, and the square root of 16 is 4. So that's my answer, right? I can stop right here. If you can do this for me, and you can stop when you get to a perfect square, you can stop. That's fine. But for most of you, you're just going to have to go all the way down to the prime numbers. Again, this is the same as the square root of 2 times the square root of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. So I can write this 4 root 2. Again, for most of you, you're going to have to bring it all the way down. 2 times 100, 2 times 50, 2 times 25, 5 times 5. And then we would have the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Circle my groups of 2, 2 of the same number. I got 1, 2, right? I've got 2 2's here and 2 5's there. So one of these comes out, one of these comes out, and this is what I'm left with, which is 10 root 2. It's my answer. Again, I'm going to put the answer here, and I'm going to show you because some of you saw right away that 100 is a perfect square. Right? 100 is a perfect square, so I could have stopped here. Square root of 200 is the same as the square root of 2 times 100. I'm going to write it this way. And the square root of 100 is 10. So 10 root 2 is my answer. So this way is a lot simpler, but you need to know what's the square root and what's not. And it can get confusing if you don't know it. So again, for most of you, just take it all the way down. There's some of you that can do this. that can stop when you get to a perfect square. I'm going to do another one, 72. I'm going to do 2 and 36. Doesn't always work like this, by the way. And then 36 would be 2 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So that's the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. 1, 2, 3 2s, 2 3s. Circle my groups of 2. So I have one group of 2, so 1 goes on the outside. I have one group of 3, so 1 goes on the outside, and my 2 left over. So my final answer would be 2 times 3, which is 6, root 2. And again, just like the other ones, because apparently I made these all very similar, I could have stopped right here. You have to be aware that 36 is a perfect square. I could have stopped here. 36 times 2. The square root of 36 times 2 is the same thing as this. Therefore, I could stop right here. Square root of 36 is 6, root 2. Again, this is the same thing as this. Square root of 36 times the square root of 2. The 36, square root of 36 is 6, 6 root 2. All right, I think that's enough. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, do the whole thing, the entire factor tree, if you're not familiar with your perfect squares.